Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Rewind That. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Today, guys, we're going to be going over the latest episode of Atlanta, Season 3, Episode number 3, called The Old Man and the Tree. So the episode starts off with the gang going to this billionaire's house, a guy who's an investor and just wants to hang out with Al. So this guy's name is Fernando, and when the gang gets to the house, it looks creepy and definitely not like a billionaire lives there. But Will comes to the door and takes them through this mess of a house. Then they get to this rusty door where Will is punching in all these codes and everything, and the door opens, and voila. A whole separate kingdom awaits, okay? And now Al is impressed, okay? He's even happier that there's a Nando's in this man's house. So the group splits up and mingles all throughout the house. Al meets Fernando and he shows him his lovely tree, which Al couldn't care less about, okay? Because he wanted another kind of tree. Okay, but then Fernando invites him to a poker game where Al has to buy in at 20K. Then sit there and listen to Fernando tell a weird story about him having sex or something with a black ashy ghost. But it's okay with Al, because he got his bud, and as long as he's getting high, it's all good. Then we have Ern, who's approached by Will with an idea concerning this kid named TJ, who is a terrible artist, guys. And Ern definitely sees that this kid's art is not great. So when Will tells him his idea, Ern tells Will that it sounds really expensive, and you could tell that Ern wanted to tell Will that TJ is not worth the investment. But as Ern tries to nicely shoot the idea down, TJ was listening from down the hall, and he comes to Ern and tells him that Will wasn't explaining the idea the right way. And what he wants to do is turn the place into an influencer incubator where everything will be available for these folks, for the artists, drugs, equipment, snacks. And they can make the money back through subscriptions to the art, which is, again, terrible, guys. So Ern tells them that he has to think about it because obviously it's not a good idea. But Will is pretty adamant about getting an answer, and obviously Ern didn't want to shut the kid down to his face. Because what's really going on, guys, is that Ern can see that TJ is taking advantage of Will. So let's move on to Darius, who meets a woman named MK at the party, and she thought he was trying to hit on her when all he really wanted was for her to pass him a bottle of gin. So she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Black guys hit on me all the time. I used to live in LA, and black guys really love Asian girls," and all this bull crap that she was saying, right? And Darius was cool about it. He was like, "Yeah, I understand the culture exchange and all that, right?" But when she leaves, a guy named Socks comes up to Darius and tells him that he heard what the woman said and it wasn't cool. It was messed up. It was racist and all that. But like I said, Darius, he didn't see it that way. But the funny part was when Socks takes off his hat and Darius tells him that he has an intense hairline. Like, Darius was so freaking serious about this, guys. But anyway, for Darius, the night seemed to be going pretty good, right? But Socks, he spread the word about MK making a racist comment to Darius, and almost all the white people in the party were pissed off and ready to riot against MK. We also find out that MK is engaged to Will, and when he finds out about the so-called racist comment, he says that he's gonna call off the wedding. All right, so let's talk about Van real quick, guys. In this episode, Van was on some weird stuff, okay? She was stealing the man's things and everything from the shelves when they first walked into the place, pushing people in the pool and everything. And she was thinking that it was all part of living in the moment or something like that. But I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty funny. But Ern does let her know that he's a little concerned about her, and so is her mother. So I'm hoping that they'll dive in a little more with what's going on with Van because she is on some weird stuff. You saw in last week's episode that she was kind of emotional. You could tell she was going through some things even at that little cult-like place. I call it a cult-like situation because they done killed this man, suffocated him and everything. But you can tell that she was going through something there. So I do hope they dive in more with that so we could really see what's going on with her. Okay, so next, guys, Earn meets up with Al and he finds out that Al lost $40,000 in the poker game. And of course, Al is very pissed off and he wants to do something, okay? He wants to steal the man's furniture, screw his wife, something to make him feel better about the situation. And I was really annoyed too, that Al never got his money back. That was really strange for a billionaire, well, so-called billionaire, to go into hiding after losing a poker game. Anyway, Earn tells Al his situation with Will and how he doesn't want to help the kid TJ because he knows he's scamming Will. But Al says, who cares? White kids be scamming all the time. And since TJ is black and Earn is black, might as well help him. And Earn is saying, well, just because he's black doesn't mean that I have to help him. He's not even a talented kid, and he could mess it up for people like me and other black folks that are talented. And that's when TJ comes rolling down the hallway, right? And he says to Earn, thanks for your help. And I mean, we both know how this needs to go, right? If this fool wants to pay for the culture, let him. Then he says, I see how these white folks are all the time. So what's wrong with me just showing them who I am? So before TJ leaves, Al asks him if he live here and if he know when Fernando is going to come down. And TJ was like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but he is not coming back down. So that pisses Al off even more, all right? But now, obviously, something about this conversation got Earn to thinking, all right? Because when he meets back up with Will and TJ, he tells Will that the more he thought about the situation, the more he realized that TJ needs a manager. So when Will was like, I understand, how much is a manager? Earn was like, well, in the US it's like 30%, but I'll do it for 25, like he literally at the last minute added the 5 on there. So we see in this moment that Earn has taken one for himself. He's like, look, people are talking about white folks be scamming all the time. If this man want to spend some money, I'm going to let him spend his money. But I don't think Earn is trying to do it in a bad way. I just think that he's trying to do it in the best way that he knows how, and probably helping himself more than helping this kid TJ, because he knows the kid TJ is just not talented. So if he can get someone like Will to just kind of be on his side and invest in things that he has going on, then hey, and if he's backing this kid, talking about Will, if he's backing this kid, like Ernest probably thinking like, why not get in on it? But we'll see how far all this goes. One thing for sure is that TJ was standing behind there listening, and he was not happy. You could tell he was not happy about the choice that Earn made, or about the deal that Earn just worked out with Will. So, oh well, that's what you get for trying to scam. I don't care, black or white, scamming is not right. So then, guys, Darius comes up and he's with Socks and he tells Earn, like, listen, it's getting a little intense upstairs. I think it's time for us to get the heck up out of here, okay? Because listen, by the end of this episode, pandemonium broke out, okay? Like I said, the whites were going after MK for being a so-called racist, and Al was trying to chop down Fernando's tree. He was trying to steal all the Nandos and all of this stuff. So it just really got crazy. So they had to rush out of there. But before they left, Darius had a conversation with this one guy. I think he was like Indian, and he came over to him and he was explaining the rage that the white people was having against MK's so-called racial slur. And he tells Darius that it's white guilt. He actually says it's ultimate white guilt. So Darius was like, I thought racism wasn't really a thing out here. I thought it was more like with class and stuff. And so the guy says, well, racism and capitalism is hard to separate. So then the guy says, well, I feel like anywhere you could buy a can of Coke, some type of racism is going to be around. And then they started to think about Taco Bell, which doesn't serve Coke, they serve Pepsi. I mean, this show sure knows how to turn like really serious conversations into some type of comedy. I love the way they do it all. But anyway, guys, like I said, it really turned out to be crazy, and they was flying out of there, running, and the whole time I'm like, where the heck is Van? The guy's left without us. So when they get in the car, they see MJ on the daggone curb crying and everything. So I don't know if she was crying because her man broke up with her or because she almost got jumped upstairs. But when they get into the van, Paperboy got this serious face on, but then they all start busting out laughing. And he was like, oh my gosh, I just took all of this Nando's. And it was just a funny moment for them. And then, come to find out, Socks is the one in the driver's seat. I don't know how the heck that freaking happened, guys. Okay, what a really weird and crazy night. But of course, that's how we do with Atlanta, all right? And like I said, I was wondering where the heck Van was. And she was off at some restaurant, guys, doing her own freaking thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you don't need to be by yourself in another country doing your own thing. I mean, I know this is TV, but that's what I was thinking. Anyway, somebody really needs to check on Van, like I was saying before. All right, but this was a pretty cool episode, guys. One thing I do want to mention is that Paperboy and Earn them, they really came a long way, all right? Because when Al was telling Earn that he lost 40,000, Earn was like, that's it? So I'm like, dang, yeah, I really came a long way, shoot. But anyway, guys, that was the episode. It was pretty cool. It was funny. It had me cracking up. I know I wasn't really laughing as I was explaining everything to y'all, but it was funny to me and I enjoyed it. So I look forward to this week's episode as well. Hopefully that recap will be way more on time than this one was. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.